my name is Hildy Wicks, and I a student at Natick High, and now I'm going to Franklin and Marshall College, and I have been working on the farm basically my whole life. My introduction to the farm was a community plot that my family had, and then after that it's just been camps and programs, and then apprenticeship, and then on the board, and now this summer I've been a full-time summer teacher, and yeah, that's been it. I have two really early memories. I don't know, they're not like the happiest memories, but they are very like typical farm kid, which I think is kind of really encapsulates it. One of them is being in the community plot. Both of them are around the community gardens. One of them is being on our plot with my brother and him sitting on a nest of red fire ants and getting bit. And then the other one is getting rammed through the fence by our billy goat at the time. And those are like my earliest farm memories. I like, they were obviously not like the most positive, but definitely like the kind of lessons that a farm kid learns within like the first 3 years of life, of like, okay, don't do that. And I think that like, it's just like such a good way to learn those things of like, keep your hands off of things that, you know, shouldn't be touched, because it's like such an immediate consequence that you're like, oh. So I just think it like was a great place to be, kind of a young autonomous little kid of just like, I'm gonna put my hand in here, oh, that was a bad idea. From my memory, it just was like we had all sorts of veg and stuff in that plot. We would go and take care of it, we would weed it, we could do seeding, and we kind of got to know the other people who had the plots around us. We got to know Linda, we got to know all the people on the farm, and it also was a great kind of vehicle to get my brother and I onto the farm, to see the animals, to see how things work, and then to get us into programs. So it was kind of like a good like introductory space for me, and also an awesome resource for tons of families, and for my family, just have a little extra, like obviously we have a garden at home, but then we had a little extra garden at the farm.
Where were the community clubs?
So they were, when you're coming down the driveway, they were on the side away from the sugar shack. So just that whole kind of plot there was just rows and rows of like little community beds that everyone got to have. Obviously a huge difference is just people coming in and out and back and leaving and coming, and it's like there were days where, you know, being a kid or an apprentice, you only come in like once or twice a week, and so much can change in a week. I remember one time, like I showed up and all of a sudden like we had ducks. I showed up and it was someone's last day the day before, or I showed up and like it was someone's first day the day before, and it just was like, it's always just a completely changing, moving social landscape, and that was kind of an awesome thing for me, just to be able to like, okay, like this is work now, you know, that person's gone, this person's here, okay, we're getting to know them, this is great. And like there definitely have been moments where I'm like, you're not like the last person who was here, like what are you doing here? And then literally a month later it feels like everything is the same and everything's fine and we're getting along great and we're best friends. So that's like one thing that is the same, in that it's always changing. And then yeah, I mean, I feel like the kind of communal aspect has really remained very strong, and I think it's getting stronger now that we're rebounding from COVID and people are allowed to come look in the barn, people are coming back for community lunch, all of these things are like coming back into bloom, and it's like so amazing to see it. I love it. I think my time from ages like 8 to 11 here were just like the most important part of my life so far. And it's because that was crazy.
Yeah.
In so many ways, it like there were a lot. It's kind of like, I wouldn't call it tough love, but like it's a farm. Things have to get done. And once you get to age 8 and into like growing, junior working farmers, you start being presented with tasks that are like, yeah, it's not very fun, but like we have to do this. You have to do this. And it puts in such a great mindset of like, sometimes I do things and I really don't like them and I have to do them. And I can do it and I can also not like it. And like that, those two things can totally exist together. And it just is like, it instills just like the best work ethic in kids, especially when you have them doing like the grossest things, like cleaning the chicken house. When I was a working farmer here, we castrated and vaccinated the piglets. And I was like, oh my God, like I don't want to do this. And I did it. And now I'm going to school for pre-vet. So like so many of these things, you don't always think like they're going to be your favorite thing, or that you're not going to like it. It's not going to help you anyway. I just don't even need to do this. And then you do it and it like flips something in your brain where you're like, okay, actually like this is a possible career choice for me, or like something like that. And it just is like such a fun way to grow. Like there's so many ways to grow and some of them are not as fun. And I feel like this is a way that it like has been super fun. I think obviously the barn burning down was hard, but I think the thing that really will continue to be like something we're always working on is just how to get people in the door, how to get people in. And whether it's like the scholarship fund, whether it's the transportation grant, whether it's like all of these things that we're just trying and we're working on and we keep like figuring out how to do it, whether like all of these different ways that people can be kept out, it's like, I think our continuous challenge will be breaking down those barriers and just getting people in, because it is such an awesome place to be. And there's so many really like therapeutic, awesome, like really kind of just like really important things going on here for people to see and people to get and people to like watch. And we just need their bodies to come into the farm. So all of the different ways to make that happen, I think that's like our next, and our kind of will be a continuous like cycle of like, okay, how do we get the next farthest group of people in? I mean, obviously produce is a huge thing, but I would say farm kids. Farm kids are our best product because they go out into the schools with this like newfound wonder, this new incredible work ethic, and also like all of this like information and all of these stories of like, well, and I had one, turkey in one hand and I had one turkey in the other and I had one on my head. And it's like, and I feel like teachers are always like so interested to hear that from me, like in school, in my writing, in like all experience on the farm. And it's just like the kids are like so amazing here that it just like, we're like, I feel like that's the best service that we provide, is like these kids who are going to grow into adults who are just going to have such an appreciation for local agriculture, but also for hard work and for like fruitful labor and for like all of these different things that they get from camp. There's always like every few groups, there's always like, honestly, every group, there's all the kids are always so much fun, but there's always like 1 or 2 or maybe even 4 who are just like so interested. They're like, can we go pick flowers? They want to do the weeding. They want to like pick up the animals. I had a kid this week who just loved reaching under the chickens to see the eggs. And I was like, when I was his age, I could not be doing that. I did not like it. But he was just so into it. They don't care when they get pecked. They don't care when they get dirty. And like, those are the kids that I'm like, this place is made for you, and I need you to come back again and again and again. Honestly, the castrating piglets story is kind of like what I think of when I think of like being a kid on the farm, because it's like I was probably 12, maybe 13. So it was kind of like pandemic. It was not quite pandemic time, I think, but it was like right before, and it was like there was just like there was so much going on. Like, you have to like hold their mouths shut so they don't scream, and you have to like distract the mom in case they do scream, because if they scream, she's gonna be freaking out. So I'm like carrying around like a jar of peanut butter that has like some grain in it, and I'm like trying to like get this pig to like not go near the barn and follow me other places. And then this woman comes up the driveway and she's like, I'm picking up the CSA for my friend, like, do you know where that is? And I'm like, I'm really busy right now, I can't help you. She didn't even see the pig that I was with, and so I was like, someone else I was like waving down someone to go help her, and then the pig is like going towards the market stand, and I was like, oh, and it's like this whole, oh my god, it was just like such an ordeal of a thing. But I also just like, it was so much fun in the moment, even though I was like kind of freaking out. But I look back on it with like, that was like one of the first moments where I was like, this is what I want to do for like the rest of my life. So tell all your friends, tell everybody you know. There's like, I still in high school as like a senior, I would be sitting in class with kids who live in Natick, and I'd be like, yeah, I work on the farm, and they'd be like, what farm? I'd be like, the Natick Community Organic Farm. It's by Memorial School. They're like, the what? It's like, oh my god, like, you, like, people come visit. Tell everybody you know. And yeah, I just, or like seeing kids who are like, can I go in there? And I'm like, if you sign up for camps, absolutely you can. So yeah, it just, that like spreading the word is just like such an important thing to do, because like word of mouth is like the best recommendation you can get. Like, anytime someone recommends something to me, I remember it, and then when I'm in the area, I'm like, oh, like I should go to this place, someone told me about this place. And so like, that's like the way to do it. For everything to stay exactly the same so I can come back and know where everything is. Don't move anything. I will get so lost. No, I mean, honestly, just for like, you know, for kids to keep getting dirty, for people, like teachers to keep coming in and learning with them. It's like such a cool symbiotic relationship of like new teachers coming in and learning with the kids how to teach and also how to be on the farm. And just like for, I don't know, like things, I don't know if I want things to get like bigger, but like just like diversifying, expanding, like testing the limits. Like, can we do this? Can we grow this? Can we have these animals? Just like seeing what, you know, what we can do. I feel like we are in an exploratory period, and I think that is really exciting.